All right, let's talk about a phrase you've probably heard a million times. Everywhere from movies to the news, quid pro quo. It sounds super formal, right? Maybe a little intimidating, but what if I told you that at its heart, it's one of the simplest and most basic parts of how we all interact? So let's get into it. So what does it actually mean? Well, it's Latin, and it literally translates to something for something. That's it. No hidden tricks. It's just the idea that you give something and you get something in return. It's the absolute bedrock of any kind of trade or exchange. And here's the thing. You've been doing this your entire life. Seriously, remember being a kid in the cafeteria? Ever trade half your boring sandwich for some of your friend's awesome cookies? Well, congrats. You've already mastered the art of quid pro quo. It's that fundamental to being human.
But of course, it's not just about snacks. This idea is huge. We're talking about an ancient concept that's basically the foundation for, well, everything. Contracts, business deals, social bonds. It goes all the way back to the very beginning of civilization.
I mean, think about it. The ancient Romans built their entire legal system around it. But go back even further to Mesopotamia, people were bartering, pure and simple. Fast forward to medieval courts, and you've got kings and queens doing strategic gift-giving. It was all quid pro quo. And today, it's the engine that drives business contracts, international diplomacy, the whole shebang. This idea isn't new. It's practically woven into our social DNA.
You know, one of our sources had this perfect analogy. It called quid pro quo the duct tape of human social interaction. And honestly, that's brilliant. Because when it's working right, in its purest form, that's exactly what it is. It's the stuff that holds our communities and economies together.
Okay, but we all know that's not the whole story, right? This phrase has a dark side. There's a reason it makes us feel a little uneasy when we hear it, and that's because there's a razor-thin line between a fair, mutual trade and something way more sinister. So that's the big question, isn't it? What separates a healthy, fair exchange from a harmful one? When does something for something cross a very dangerous line? It really boils down to two key things: power and consent. See, a fair exchange is a win-win. Both people benefit, both people agree to it, and they're more or less on equal footing. But coercion? That's a win-lose. That's when someone uses their power to pressure someone else, exploiting an imbalance. So you see, it's not the exchange itself that's the problem, it's the context around it.
And this dark side, it pops up everywhere. At work, it could be the boss who implies a promotion is tied to a personal favor. In politics, it's the classic story of trading campaign money for political influence. It can even happen in your own life, like a roommate using their leverage to get you to do something totally unfair. All of these are technically quid pro quo, but they've crossed the line into exploitation.
And of course, pop culture gave us the ultimate, most chilling example, Hannibal Lecter. When he leans in and says, "Quid pro quo, Clarice?" Goosebumps, right? He's not offering a fair trade, he's weaponizing the exchange. He's using his power, the information she desperately needs, to dig into her personal trauma. That's what makes that scene so memorable and so incredibly creepy.
And the damage from this stuff is absolutely real. For the person on the receiving end, it can cause immense stress and really hurt their career. And for an organization, it's like a virus. It creates a toxic culture, it completely erodes trust, and yeah, it can lead to devastating lawsuits and a ruined reputation. It's just bad for everyone involved.
Okay, so that's the scary part. But here's the good news. Now that we know the dangers, what can we actually do about it? Let's build a little toolkit, some clear, actionable steps for how to recognize this behavior and respond to it effectively. If you ever find yourself in this kind of situation, the first and most critical step is to document everything. I'm talking emails, notes, dates. A written record is golden. If you feel safe enough to do so, deliver a clear, professional no. Then you have to report it. Go to official channels like HR at your company or a Title IX coordinator at school. And remember, if the people inside your organization fail you, don't stop there. There are outside groups like the EEOC that are there to help. But of course, the best approach is always prevention. An organization can build up an immune system against this stuff. It starts with having clear policies written in plain English. Then you need regular training, safe and anonymous ways for people to report problems, and, this is the big one, you need leadership that is held accountable and models ethical behavior from the very top.
So, after digging into the good, the bad, and the pretty ugly, what's the ultimate takeaway here? It all comes back to a really simple core principle.
When it's at its best,
Quid pro quo is just about balance. It's about creating a win-win situation that's built on consent and mutual respect. It's the difference between you willingly sharing your cookies with a friend and the feeling of having them demanded from you.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Our entire society is built on this complex web of exchanges. So the challenge for all of us, in every single deal we make, is to make sure our something for something is always fair, always empowering, and never, ever exploitative.